Let's go from the beginning. Okay. So beginning, yeah. So then that's what we're looking at today. Wellness, pleasure, sex, care in womanhood, sexual freedom in marriage. And so biblical context, scope of discussion and question and answer. So I kind of put the biblical context in the beginning, and really it's about Genesis 1:27 to 28. We all know that how God created us, man and female, in his own image, and he created us to be fruitful and multiply and fill the land and subdue the earth. And of course, second Genesis 2:24 also said, therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, man and his wife, and were not ashamed. They were both naked, man and wife, and they were not ashamed. And when we come to Corinthians, do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time, so that you may devote yourself to prayer. Then come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. And Hebrews 13:4, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure. For God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. So physical unit become the miracle of marriage as a man and woman become one. It is referring to the oneness, intimacy we experience physically, emotionally, spiritually through sex. And you know what? Sex is a powerful tool, is a powerful thing. And as much as we don't like to talk about it in church, but the fact is, it is a word that is powerful, and we know even how in the world or how they exalted it so high, and how, for me, they've actually idolized it, and so it's a powerful tool in the hand of both men and women. And I don't think it's something that we should be quiet and be silent about it. It's important to explore it, talk about it, review it, so that we don't feel, because I'm talking about it, I am dirty, I am a sinner, maybe something is wrong with me. That's why right from the beginning, God creating man and a woman, God not creating men, not creating woman, you know what he's doing. And God creating us, if you know the features of a man with a woman, the only difference we have is our vagina, let's call it the way it is, and husband penis, So that's the only difference between man. So God creating that knows what he's doing. So sex, there's nothing wrong in talking about sex. There's no sin about it. There's nothing dirty about it. God created it. God knows about it. When we're having sex, God knows about it. Because if we believe God is omnipotent, is omnipresent, is everywhere. So he knows even the time when we're sleeping with each other. So there's nothing to hide, or there's nothing shameful to talk about it. And it's important for us to know that and feel good about it, because God knows and God sees us whatever we do and what we're doing even now. So the scope is really important of sex in marriage. Any benefit is sex mainly for men. Then I mentioned, kind of put a quick about sexual abuse, fancy sex, nudity, porn, oral sex, and others. Because usually most of these questions of porn, oral sex is always coming on whenever I have opportunity to share about this. That's the importance of sex. It's a lot about protection, Everybody wants to protect it, and it's about me, one man, protecting me, covering me. When we see in second Genesis, when he said they both naked and they were not ashamed, they are transparent, they were in front of each other, they are comfortable in front of each other. And so there's elements of protection when you have sex, when there's a mutual agreement in sex with a man that you care for or that loves you, and you love him as well. Of course, it's pleasure. And when we go to and approve the verbs in Proverbs 5:18 to 19, it's pleasurable. And I think the pleasure part of sex is what our world today so much exalted, so much idolized. And that's why it's easy for women to trade for sex. That's easy for women. They say, oh, it's threesome. They're not comfortable with one man and one woman. They extend it to three women with one man too. I mean, there's so many silly things happening there. It's the pleasure bit of it. They over-exaggerate it. But the intention of God, right from the beginning, right from the onset, is a man and a woman having a time together, naked, no ashamed, explore themselves, enjoy themselves, be together at all time. And of course, procreation, as we see in Genesis 1, he said we should multiply, fulfill. How do we multiply? The only way you can multiply is to have sex. Yes, you can say there's so many ways people have children today. There's surrogacy, there's test tube baby. But again, there's an egg from a woman and there's an egg for a man. In a normal baby, we're not talking of AI babies now. A normal baby, a normal child will have a male and a female egg to become human. That is what God is ordained. And as a child of God, as a children of God, we still have solid, strong faith in that we believe in we having a man and a woman coming together. So even if it's surrogacy, it's your egg and another man's egg coming together. And of course, even when we are doing surrogacy, you still be having sex with your spouse. So procreation is part of the importance of sex. Communication is allow you to communicate. You know, when you have physical intimacy, and I think this is like old folklore or old folk tales from our parent. Our parent will tell you, oh, if you need something, I mean, this our parent would, if you need something, have sex with your husband, and during sex or after sex, whatever you want, whatever you desire, ask him. He will give it to you because it's in that cloud nine, they said. So yes, it's a form of communication. If you're having an argument with your husband, this try and test it. And it's easy to talk after sex because you have a moment with each other and you breaking the ice or you even saying that difficult conversation become more easy. So he aids in communication as well and comforts. And yes, it's comfort people. If you read Samuel, you know, Second Samuel about David and Bathsheba, even at the death of that child, you know, they had, David was able to comfort because Bible says he went in, knew Bathsheba, and Bathsheba became pregnant. You're wondering what's happening. This woman is just lost a baby, just lost a child. Why are you going in with her? Yes, it's comforting. And so even if you're going through a difficult time, try it. It works. Actually, if it's with your husband, it works. And I will tell you, the world on the other side actually make use of that. Again, when they're going through, they'll tell you, especially when a woman died, you know, and the husband, they say, oh, if some culture will say when he died that very night of the wife passing, he need to sleep with another woman. You might say it's wrong, but it's in the context of comfort that traditionally they are saying that. So yes, sex is comforting. And of course, generosity. You're being generous with your body. And that's why it talks in the Corinthians that do not deny each other. Do not say, oh, I'm fasting. Do not say, oh, I'm busy. You need to be generous, both of you, both men and women. I know most of us sometimes we're more generous with our body, but yes, be more generous. I brought all these Bible passages in Solomon. You know, you can say the book of Solomon is dirty. Yeah, it might look dirty, but all these things are there. So why can't we talk about it? If all these things are written in the Bible, it means we can talk about sex. You know, Solomon is talking, my beloved is to me a pouch of myrrh, which lies all night between my breasts. I mean, it's just bare with it. Bible is talking about it, bare. Bible is not hiding anything. So that's why I don't see any reason why we cannot say it, you know. When we look at Songs of Solomon 4:5, say, your breasts are like two fans, twins of a gazelle, which feed among the lilies. Was bare. If I even to say, let his left hand be under my head and his right hand embrace me. Hey, come on. These are sweet words. He's talking. You can say it in these days when they call it sex texting. You can call this sex texting. It's there in the Bible. Many of us were not born when this is written. Over 2,000 years, these are written. So again, I'm saying there's nothing wrong talking about it. There's nothing wrong in expressing it because it's in the Bible and it's okay for us to talk about it. So we're not going to over spiritualize it. And that's why I just brought all those Bible passages for us to know, yes, it's okay and it's fine for us to actually talk about all these things. And again, what's the benefit of sex? I mean, I know many of us know about this, and I mean, it's known. And that's why I say male and female, because I think most time men kind of tend to feel, or the society, I kind of say, oh, it's men that enjoy sex. And I think we need to come to a point whereby we should feel that we enjoy sex. Both people should enjoy sex. I know growing up, sex is nothing. I don't know if there's anybody that actually sat any daughter down to actually say this is how sex feels. So this is how to do sex. I mean, it's a taboo. I mean, I was once my daughter at 10 years, we normally call it a big talk, when they're about to, because I will now talk through them, the menstrual period. And that's when I begin to talk to them about sex, about female organ, about male organs. And we look at the picture and we'll describe everything the way it look like. And then the risks. Now you're going to be menstruating. If you end up with a man during your ovulation period, you get pregnant, so I kind of explain it to them. Maybe it's easier for me because I'm a nurse or being a midwife or my husband is gynecologist. So talking about sex, talking about these things is normal. But I think as a mother, part of our responsibility is also to do this. We are not that opportuned as a young lady when we're growing up for anybody to actually talk to us about sex. And again, a lot of time, many women were circumcised. Thank God that those things, I pray, that's completely abolished. But you can imagine the number of women. I mean, and our generation also actually affected in that. It's not only previous generation. A lot of our generation also was circumcised. And again, it makes sex even become a chore. It make it even more difficult, and it make it look like, okay, it's only men that enjoy it and we don't enjoy it. But it's important for us to know both of us supposed to enjoy sex. And if okay, we're talking about what is it really to enjoy? And it's again, it's the intimacy. It's about all the way, right from the beginning, when the man is trying to touch you, when this man is prepping you. You might say that is not happening anymore. Yes, but I think should be our expectation. Because we don't have expectation before does not mean we cannot create one now. It doesn't matter our age, it doesn't matter where we are, it doesn't matter what we've taken before. I think it's important for us to create that. I'm opportunity to actually counsel some young people, and I said it doesn't matter where you're coming from in terms of sex. This is now. Now is your understanding. You can sit down with your husband and say, you know what, I need to enjoy this. You look like you're the one that's enjoying it. I want to enjoy it. I want you to touch me in this area. I want you to feel me in this area. Because there's nothing wrong. It is your husband. That is why he's male and female, he made him. That is why both of you were standing, you're naked and you're not ashamed. So you're not being dirty, you're not being promiscuous, it's nothing that you say, you know what, I want you to touch me. Or I'm under my hair, at the back of my hair. I want to touch my clitoris. I want you to any part. We know what part you can express that to your husband. It's nothing wrong. And if the man feel what's coming to you today, okay, maybe use the example of today. This is the flyer that we went on today, and this is what they talk about, and I want to try it. And they are all Christian women. It is there. And you can ask him to go and read Sons of Solomon, or both of you start reading Sons of Solomon and tell him, begin to try what Solomon tried on this woman with me. He's a born again Christian, he's a pastor, hallelujah, but it's in the Bible. Why don't you try one of these things with me and let's see how it works? So I think that's why we talk about communication earlier. It's important about talking about it. And it's important, certainly with our husband. And if we need something we need to change tonight, let's change it. There's nothing wrong in doing that. So one of the benefits that is tested, there's a lot of study on that. I'm not going to bore you with all the medical terminologies, but it's a cardiovascular, it's the heart rate. They say it helps because of the amount of exercise, the amount of heart beating that goes on when you have sex together. So yes, it helps with the cardiovascular. The study actually says that men that have regular sex, or couple, let me put it, have regular sex and there's so much emphasis on men actually, that at least they have between 10 to 12 times a month that they have reduced blood pressure by I think 15 milligram or something like that. So that compared to men that actually have it 2 or 3 times a month. So the more sex you have, the more likelihood that you're going to have reduced blood pressure, and also for your heart to be functioning well. So which I believe will affect, it will be same thing for women as well. So what it's saying is that you having sex more is better than not having. So even if you're on a timetable, can you look into your timetable again? If you already put yourself once a week, can you try and increase it maybe 2 or 3 times a week? Because again, I remember back in the day of midwifery, what it says that you can consider somebody infertile after having 3 times sex every week. I mean, 3 times a week for 2 years, and there is no pregnancy. Then that's when you can discover, you can say that woman is infertile. Then you can start, exploring so many investigation and treatment. I mean, I'm talking of midwifery back in the 1990, 92 when I did it. So, of course, I don't know what this research is saying now, but at least, even when you look at that study, that if men have sex 12, I think they said 12 to 15 times a month, which means it's like average of 3 times a week. So it's important still that you kind of try your possible best, especially if you're the younger adult on the side of 50 plus. It might become an issue, but try 2 times a week because it's going to help both of you. Again, weight loss. It's about for each good active sex of 30 minutes, you're losing 200 calories. Come on, sister. Even if you go to gym, you're not going to lose 200 calories. Let's be real. If you walk like me, I don't walk very fast, I walk very slow. But even if you do have marathon, maybe you will lose that. They're saying 30 minutes good sex will give you 200 calories. So again, they say it helps in weight loss. In pain management, they thought there's some hormones that release during sex that help pain, especially back pain for both men and women. I think our culture will tell you, oh, if you have sex too much, you're going to break your back. There's no study. If a study actually said it helps with the back pain. And of course, there's a serotonin that release and it help with our stress level. There's a study that actually, they did a study during the time of COVID. They actually said it helps with flu and COVID. That people that have sex a lot actually did not have COVID. So yes, there's a research in there that says it helps you. So there's improve immune system. And of course, it increase your self-esteem. If you have regular sex with your husband and when you go out, your shoulder will be high, you're happy, you're laughing because you feel that I must be attractive. This man is wanting me all the time. So it helps with your self-esteem. And of course, they say it help with sleep. Definitely help with sleep because many of the time you see our men after sex, they are down, sleeping, snoring. Again, you see the benefit for men in that area. Many of the time, we women were still active, and it's because of our home, we're still active, we take time to sleep. But again, if you calm down, you relax again, you also will sleep. And I think this is the big one that was in the ITV news probably 2, 3 years ago, when they say it reduced the risk of prostate cancer. And our men just over exalted that language that, oh, it helps prostate cancer. If you don't give me sex, you want me to have cancer. That it became a big story, regarding that. So yes, this is that it reduced the risk of prostate cancer on them. So there's a study that actually said that. So these are, and more than that, the benefit of sex. And to be honest with you, it varies from people to people. And again, I quickly put this in there because I think I'm passionate about these things as well, because we see a lot of relationship. I mean, probably couple of people I've spoken with, that some of these things are actually happen. We have people being exploited, if somebody is calling you names, it is an abuse because they want to access and they say, oh, excuse me to use the language in Yoruba, it's actually an abuse. Or come you with big bum, bring your big nyash here, or you with big backside, bring it is name calling. It might be as simple as that. And I think it's important for us to actually say we can speak up for ourselves and say no, it's not happening, And of course, using sex as a leverage. And of course, a lot of us women, we are being accused of this, that if you don't do this to me, I will not give it to you. If you refuse to give me to if you don't pay my children's school fees, then that's the end of it. If you don't make me happy, then that's it. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, I'm not going to give you sex. Yes, it's an abuse on our spouse, if you see it like that. And then first accused to avoid sex, you're making your first excuse to avoid sex. You're making an excuse, I've got headache here. I think they say all of us women do that. But I tell you, unfortunately, in our generation, men does that because we have men that they are married at home, but they are sleeping with men out there. And they will make excuse as well. I am tired. I'm busy at work. Or it is work. Or I'm depressed. So men will use that language. Of course, women will use headache. Or it's my menstrual pain. It is. So excuse also is an abuse. We're being abused. Because if you go back to what we read in 2 Corinthians, when it was talking about do not deny each other of your body. If you need to say we don't have sex, both of you need to agree. And the Bible recognizes you need to come back quickly so that the enemy will not take advantage and tempt you. And of course, we have cyber sex abuse using social media. I mean, this is another popular one. And again, you see, because some women, they were giving their nudity to men. It's a popular thing now. That men, and I think this is an area we need to begin to speak to our young ladies, our children, to avoid things like this. We find a lot of people, sending their nudity, and if anything happen, boom, so it is on the social media. You're threatening them. If you don't give me money, if you don't come back to me, it's a lot. Again, it's an abuse. And of course, forced prostitution, we'll see the cases whereby, I mean, we might say it happened in Italy. I'll tell you what is happening here in England, whereby men actually trade their wife for sex so that they become their pimp, and they trade them for sex to bring money to the house. So it might look funny, but it's happening. And let me quickly, before I go to, let me quickly touch about menopause. I mean, in just area where I didn't put it in my slide, but I think I put it down. That why do women find sex so difficult, And if I look at our age, our generation, menopause is a big thing, because when you hit menopause, or some people might be pre-menopause, you find out that you have dryness, you have poor libido, you are stressed, you have anxiety. There's so many changes that's going on in your body that you yourself don't understand. And because, in the past, nobody talked about menopause. Thank God the NHS has recognized that now. I'm pretty sure in various countries where you are, I'm pretty sure there's menopause being mentioned now. But now in England, NHS have actually recognized that, and they're actually giving people even half time off work to actually go and store themselves when it comes to menopause symptoms. So menopause, sex could become a chore. Sex to become more difficult. Sex will become pain because you have painful sex. Your emotion is not balanced because you're withdrawing in all your hormones that make things happen. It's quite important. I know hormone therapy replacement, a lot of us or a lot of our culture do not agree to it, but to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong in it. If you have serious withdrawal, you have serious symptoms of menopause, I think you need to see your doctors. And if they recommend hormone therapy, there's nothing wrong in it. Please do take it, because again, these are the major issue when you have a lot of situation happening in our marriages in our 50s. You find that these men suddenly were following young people, young ladies. You're wondering what is the problem, or because they feel they're still sexually active, or because you are not giving it to them. And again, you are struggling because you have pain even having this sex. But again, there's so many things you could buy. There's so many creams out there you could buy. But most importantly, you need to sit a husband down and speak to them. And for the younger generation again, I think I find out with the younger generation again that they're actually using the issue of, you're not making me happy, I'm not going to give it to you. Please, let's stop. Because the more you do that, you're creating a gap. Each time you refuse him, there will be issue. There's no way. If anybody is telling you, oh, I have a perfect peaceful marriage, everything is okay in my marriage, is a lie. For even be you a bishop, if it's two of us now coming together, yeah, we will have issue. So, and problem never finish, as they say in my country. So what I'm saying is that even when you're having issue, when you're having trouble, when you're having challenges in marriage, please pack it and just do this sex and find a way to talk about it. It is important, because the more you separate, you're creating a gap. And I'm talking from experience. The more you actually create that space, oh, you didn't make me happy, I'm not going to have it with you, I'm not going to do this, oh, we need to talk about it before. I begin to have, because when I stop actually having sex before conversation, and I always say we need to have this conversation before sex, I begin to create wide gap. It becomes wide. And the more, and we become distant, gradually, before you know it, he stop asking you again. And because he stopped asking, you begin to think, oh, maybe he's seen another woman. Oh, so everything is going on. All your hair is, standing straight. You're wondering maybe he's actually sleeping with another woman. He might not be sleeping with any woman. But so it's important. That's why I'm saying it's so important. Don't let us use any excuse. Don't let us use it as a game. And again, it might actually be it's work. It's important for you to create time between two of you. One of the things I'm actually, telling the young people that come my way is that even no matter how busy you are, if you can create a weekend every 3 months, out of the house. Go away and purely have good sex out of the house and come back again. No matter how, put it in your diary and just create this every 3 months. We're going to get out of this house, go to this nice environment. And many of us, we work so hard. I know many of us are diaspora. Many of us work so hard. And if anybody come from home, it's easier for us to drop 200 pounds. But that 200 pounds will take you to, you might say it's not a big, but nice hotel for one night. And you can sleep together, have a good one. And yes, Sunday morning, hit everybody in church, pay probably another 100 pounds for a childcare. It is not too much. It's an investment in your relationship that will pay off in the near future. So, and there's so many, it could be medical conditions. I mean, if it's medical condition, big sick, some people might be bleeding post-sex. It's a sign of a trouble. See medical help, seek doctor to speak about it. If it is emotion imbalance, that's why we have therapists. I'm pretty sure doctor will be talking a lot about that in our own session. But please, it's important for us, whatever it is, don't let us keep quiet. I think that would be myself. Don't keep quiet. Let's talk. There's nothing wrong speaking to somebody next to you. You're not dirty. You're not being sensitive. It is real life, and we need to talk about it. I'm going to go on I put it fancy sex. And I put Colossians 3:5 and said, therefore, consider the member of your earthly body as dead to immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, greed, which amount to idolatry. It is in the Bible. Yeah. So we have pornography, we have oral sex, we have masturbation, we have anal sex, we have sex texting, we have nudity, we have threesome, infidelity, homosexuality. Oh, I mean, animal one is another thing entirely. I didn't put that, but you know what? Those ones are in the Bible. Bible actually make clear of those ones. So I put all those Bible verses for us, to say flee immorality, even other sin that a man commits is outside the body, but the immoral man sin against his own body. I just put those few ones in there for us to know the mind of God around all these things. And for us to know, as a woman of God, and one of the things I normally say here, many of us, I don't know our age, but many of us, I'm pretty sure we can say average of 30, 40, and even younger. But I say that many of the time we think, oh, where are the older women? We are actually the older women of this generation. So there's nobody to look back at. We are the one that is leading on today. And it's important for us to get it right so I'll be able to speak even the truth, even to the next generation and even our children as well. I mean, in terms of pornography, I've actually spoken to an older generation. And one of the things she told me is that the reason why they use pornography in their marriage, husband and wife, is because unfortunately the man has no erection anymore. And the best thing they do is that, okay, they watch this pornography to get him aroused a little bit so that they can have time together. But again, you're running a risk because it's addictive. It is addictive. There's a demon. Spiritually, we believe it. And I think you've seen a lot of Christians committing that, and they're coming to actually ask God, how God deliver them, how God save them. So the danger in you allowing pornography in your marriage is that it's addictive. Somebody could get addicted to it. And if a husband gets addicted to pornography, then they're going to be making the excuse because you're not going to be appealing anymore. So be careful in what you allow into your relationship. You might say, okay, after all, it happens, the other women that are not Christian, this is how they do, they enjoy. But you know what? We are accountable. And for me, this is what I normally say, I will need to go back to God. I will need to go back and lay down and pray to God. I will need to ask God, search my heart. This is what God's going to be searching anyway. So why can't I just keep it narrow and straight? But most of the time, men actually get easily to pornography if you actually introduce it to your marriage. And what pornography is really men, women having sex in the broad daylight and they can do it anyhow. And many of them, when you see, many of them use drug, many of them use alcohol. So the intensity of that sex they're watching is not normal, it's abnormal. So if now you expose yourself into that and the husband is expecting you to perform at that level, come on. And that's why you need to be careful. And if there's any partner, any spouse that is into this, we pray tonight. I think that's part of the prayer, that God will set them free so that you can have a good relationship. I will come back. I will do the oral sex last. Masturbation, we know that some men, I've seen men, leaving their wife in the bedroom, lie down in their bedroom and going to the bathroom and masturbating there. And you ask them why. Oh, I'm addicted to that. Sometimes they will finish having sex with their wife and they go in there. Oh, I just want to do it. Or sometimes maybe they have challenges within the relationship and they think the best way to get at this woman is to go into the bathroom moaning and let that woman actually be aware that they're masturbating. Again, it's not something that is good. And if anybody is going through this situation, we pray healing and we pray God to help them. Because again, it's not, because again, some men will tell you, some men will give an excuse that, oh, because you didn't give me 3 sex a week, and because ITV News said there's a study that if you don't have regular sex, I'm going to have prostate cancer. So if I'm not having sex with you, I better go and masturbate, because at the end of the day, I'm going to ejaculate in both ways, because when they masturbate, they ejaculate. When they have sex with you, they ejaculate. So I'd rather go and masturbate. But again, it's a risk. Because again, if they get used to that, then they're not going to look at you anymore. Again, you have another one when you see anal sex, And I want you to be very sensitive here. When a man is asking you for anal sex, then you need to be very, very careful. Then I can tell you without that man is already having sex with a man. It's as simple. It's one major sign. It's one classic sign. If a man is asking you to give her or him an anal sex, or you decided to give him anal sex, I think you're running a great risk. Apart from the danger it's going to cause you, apart from the trouble you're going to have if you have to do that. I mean, anybody that's working in the hospital will say, I've actually been opportunity to actually know somebody in that capacity, and I see the damage, because they have to go back to the hospital and they have to reconstruct this men, anal region, or because of the damage that's happened even onto it. So I think you need to be careful and you need to speak out. You need to speak to somebody. You need to speak to him if it's actually oftentimes. Some of them will pretend, oh, it's by mistake. No. We know where the orifice is. We know where the vagina is. We know where the anus is, So be careful. And I will not subscribe to anal sex because of the infection, because of the damage you're going to cause, and because of the risks you're actually running. You're actually sending your husband out there, because it's going to get to a point, your own is going to get too loose, and you're going to look for a tighter one, and he might start looking for men, because again, there's going to be intensity in actually doing it men to men. Of course, sex texting. This is another major one that is actually going. You see a lot of men, they will sit down at home. You think, I got a perfect man sitting down there doing nothing. And that's why you find some sisters in the church. Oh, my husband is so good. He's always at home, doesn't go out. He doesn't do anything, doesn't chase after women. Some of them are liars. Some of them are doing sex texting. And they will sit next to you, and you think they are looking at their phone, they are looking at football, they're looking at, some of them will even be showing to you that they are looking at their Bible, that they show you the Bible app that it says, yes, I'm opportune to actually have somebody spoke to me about it. And the woman was sitting down there thinking the husband is preparing for message Sunday, but actually the man was busy sex texting somebody else in another country, and they were sharing nudity. And the worst part of it, and they are talking down, retrogradely of the wife, is a big, 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 big thing that is happening in our days, in our generation. I'm not asking you to start searching your husband's text, checking husband's phone, or looking for it, or but just be aware. And so don't go out there and thinking my husband is perfect, and you make other women, other sister feel that, oh, your husband has trouble, because you don't know sometimes. But again, God, there's nothing, because this particular sister, God finally exposed the man without even chasing. Sometimes, how God does things for us. Nudity, big, big, big one. And it's unfortunate even women of our age also do that. But younger generation, I think they do that a lot. Please, let's speak to our young ladies. Let's tell them their body is precious. Their body is important. No account should they expose their body to another man in another, wherever. Because some of these young men are actually using their nudity to put them on social media. It's sad. But that's what they do. Another thing you see, the threesome. There's a popular woman on social media that is doing this thing. Oh, I'm talking about sex, and it will tell them people should be sharing experience, how they do threesome, how they invite another woman to their home, and how they're actually exalting that. They're actually, this is what the Bible. This is immorality. This is immorality. There's not nowhere in the Bible that God encouraged that, and we're children of God. So let's avoid threesome. Threesome, you're putting a risk in your marriage again, because your husband might like the other woman. The last one I'm going to talk is the oral sex. I put the oral sex as the last one. I said, God is so intentional when he created every part of our body. I was learning about tongue, and I realized that the prints in our tongue is different, it's unique, it's peculiar. Yeah, that's how intentional God is. So God created the mouth for food. God created the eyes so that we can see. God created the nose so that we can smell. God created vagina for penis. Yeah. So it doesn't create our mouth for the penis. That's the simple way I can say it. You want to talk about the Bible is not explicit say all oral sex don't. As Bible talk about pornography, as it talk about homosexuality. When you read Romans 1:22, 1:26 to 27, it was clear. The Bible actually discouraged homosexuality. You can say that pornography was there, infidelity, everything, masturbation, it was there. When he killed those two men that went into Tamar and they ejaculated outside, God killed them. So all these things clearly. But when you come to oral sex, there was nothing, you cannot pin the Bible said. But is it everything permissive, as you see in 1 Corinthians 6:12? Oh, some people say the only way I can keep my marriage because before I became born again, this is what we've been doing. Yes. But you know what? You can go down on your knees and ask God, take this urge, take this desire away from my husband. It's a matter of time. The Lord will take it away from him. But I'm saying, be careful. If it's not happening in your home, don't anybody encourage you. Oh, maybe you haven't given it to him. Oh, they call it, you need to clean your place. Oh, you need to do. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm naive. You can say I'm naive, or maybe you think I cannot. Oh, maybe I haven't done that. That's why I don't know the enjoyment in it. But there's a pleasure. There's a pleasure even without doing that. So if there's a pleasure in that, why do we need to try? There's so many other fancy sex. People will do uniform. People will dress up. People will chain themselves to the pole of the bed. We've seen men died, women died because they chain each other. People will tie they put rope. There's so many things happening in there just to get satisfaction, just to get high. But many of these people that we watch, some of them are on drugs, some of them are on high and alcohol. That's why I said a disclaimer, we're Christian, many of us, and we're with Holy Spirit all the time. Where you get our energy to go that level. But remember, God knows what the purpose of each of our organs are meant for, and that's why He's created vagina for a man, and that's the only thing that brings men and women together. The only place you can fix the penis of a woman, of a man to a woman, is a woman vagina, and it's that simple. And it's so important for us to keep with that context. I've seen women, I've had women that gave it all. Oh, gave the oral sex, all. And those men were still not satisfied. So what is important? I know God will help us. I mean, self-care, I think we know about it. Most important is about your self-identity. Be comfortable in your skin. You don't need any affirmation from man, from woman, from anything. Be assertive in yourself. I think that's what is important. And boundaries, search your heart, remove unforgiveness. If you need to set boundaries, set boundaries. It's important. We are human beings. We need to know we're enough. We're enough. Don't let your fight that I want this man to know me, to notice me, drag you to a point whereby you lose yourself completely. You're beautiful, you're wonderfully, you're perfectly made by God. And of course, say personal hygiene, cleanliness is next to godliness. I don't want to, I mean, we're all mature. It's important. One thing I find that it's so simple, roll on. It's so cheap and it's so simple. I don't, every woman should have a roll-on in their bag, in their car, because it's quick and it's good. And you can invest in good perfume. You know, I mean, people that knows me in my work, when we used to do face to face, there's no way you won't know I've arrived because I'll soak myself in perfume. So when I pass, you will know that I've passed. Because again, it's part of what we are as a woman. Let's spend money to do that. And I remember back in the days, you know, I was going through a season of life, and it was a man that actually called me. What happened to your nails? Why is your hair like this? Why can't you do, you know? And I know, you know, since then I invest myself every blessed month. I book with my nails. I do my nail, my feet, my eyebrow. In fact, the latest thing they're doing now is microblading. I did my nice microblading so that I don't have to be using pencil all the time. There's so many things we can do to look good. There's no sin. There's no sin. I mean, anyway, good grooming head to toe, and it's important to do that. I would quickly drop this. You know, I think the washing our in between our legs of our perineal area with soap. I think there's a lot of research that say you don't need the soap, you just need warm water and just clean it. You don't need to start putting salt. Some people will use so many things. They use salt, they use this, they cut. It's not needed. Ordinary water, warm water will do the job because you have a lot of solution coming through there that is already cleaning it. So don't add more to it.
And thank you
Okay.
so much, ma'am.
Thank
The
you.
Lord
And I'll
bless you
stop sharing.
exceedingly and abundantly in the mighty name of
Amen.
Jesus. Thank
Amen.
you so much. One thing, I love the fact that you're always open to discuss, you're not ashamed to go there to touch on these issues that we hardly speak about in church. Again, thank you so much, ma, for that session. The Lord bless you exceedingly and abundantly in
Amen.
the mighty name of Jesus. You're coming back because we have lots of questions, and I really want us to touch on those questions because most people that are here, these are the questions in their hearts that they are not able to ask, and that might be the reason why they have joined. So we want to ensure that some of these things are tailored to what is on the heart of the ladies that are present here tonight. So thank you again, ma. God bless you in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much, ma.